Hi, my name is Emily Meyer. My pronouns are she, her, hers, and I am a staff attorney in the legal clinic at Equality Ohio. And specifically, I'm in the Southwest Ohio region of our clinic. So a lot of people like to know, well, you're an attorney, like, what does that look like? What does an attorney at Equality Ohio do every day? Or what's a typical day? So I guess I want to first I'll talk about the legal clinic just very briefly in the areas of practice that we practice. And I want to provide some context. So the legal clinic was founded in 2019. We had two attorneys to start out with. I was one of the attorneys. I started out in the Cleveland office, actually. I helped open up the Cleveland office of the legal clinic. And we were founded because over the years of Equality Ohio's existence, which Equality Ohio was founded in 2005, many people in the community would reach out to Equality Ohio, think of us in terms of laws that we're trying to change, and that we're we support the community. And so people with actual legal problems would call up and ask for our help. And at that, for a dozen years of Equality Ohio's existence, we did not have a legal clinic. We might have attorneys on staff, but they weren't actually practicing. And so, we would field the calls and try to find referrals for them as best we can, especially, affirming legal referrals. And particularly after 2016 and the election of 2016, as you can imagine, we had many, many calls of people worried about their rights and how to protect them. And so the leadership at Equality Ohio was like, they started thinking strategically in terms of where the organization should be going and how we can better help the community. And so they determined, hey, what if we had lawyers on staff who could help everybody who's calling us for help? And so, long story short, in 2019, we were founded. And so we practice what my boss, Maya Simic, the legal director, calls stabilization law. And by that, she means I work every day in my job in helping folks to remove obstacles that are in place that are obstacles to stability. So for instance, if a person has a criminal record, that can be a major obstacle to getting a better job, let's say, or better housing, or just different housing, right? Because potential employers, potential landlords, they run background checks, right? They see something on your record and they won't even consider you anymore, maybe. Well, one thing we can do, if you qualify to get your record sealed, we can help you seal your record so it's off your record, so it won't show up in a background check. That's what I mean by stabilization law. Another area of practice that we practice in the clinic is we help folks get legal name changes. So especially for our trans and non-binary folks in the community, this can be a big deal because not only getting a legal name change through the court is the very first step that you have to do to then update all of your other documents. So for instance, like your birth certificate, your driver's license, your social security card. Before you can change anything on those, in terms of if you've changed your name or your gender marker, you first have to get a court order through your county probate court in Ohio that says the court recognizes that you legally changed your name. Well, this can be a huge help and a removal of an obstacle for folks who, if your identity documents don't all match, right, in terms of the name and the gender marker, then anytime you have to show one, or if you have to show a document to a person who knows you as a different name, you're being asked to out yourself every single time, right? And that can be an obstacle to employment opportunities, let's say. And so practicing stabilization law is what I do every day. Now, there's no real typical day. Most people think of attorneys, they think of attorneys in terms of maybe law firm attorneys who they have their fancy office and they wear suits every day and they kind of do their work in the office every day, or maybe going to court every day. That is not my experience. We do through the clinic, another one of our our models, in addition to practicing stabilization law, our model for the clinic is a community lawyering based model. So we go where the people are. We want to reach folks who would otherwise be too intimidated to contact an attorney or don't have the funds for an attorney, right? So we want to be where the people are and make it less scary. I don't think I'm that scary, but I can understand and I can appreciate that just the very idea of meeting with a lawyer can be very intimidating for folks. Of course, in the time of COVID, community lawyering has meant something different, right? We've had to do all of our community organizing, if you will, or being out in the community in a virtual space. I am so thrilled at the prospect of, higher vaccination rates and that hopefully we'll be opening up again because it is my greatest hope. And what I most enjoy about the job is being out in the community during the day. Working from coffee shops, working from libraries, meeting folks where they are, and not being stuck, let's say, in an office all day writing up briefs. I mentioned that I've been in this role since 2019, and I have had a very nonlinear career path, which I actually like to talk about with folks because I guess I was always sort of insecure about that. I come from a family where people have very linear career paths, like they go to college for the thing and then they get out and they do the thing that they got their major in or whatever. And I guess I'm an evangelist and I like to say nonlinear careers are valid. So I have an engineering degree. I went to law school to be a patent attorney. You get patents for inventions. And I did that. I mean, I went to law school. I practiced as an intellectual property attorney for a number of years here in Cincinnati, mostly doing patent law, but also trademarks and copyrights and sort of advertising work as well. And it ultimately wasn't that fulfilling for me as a career. And as many people might know, if you're in your 30s, you kind of get into your 30s, let's say, and you kind of have to do some self-reflection and you wonder, well, is this what I want to do for the rest of my life? What else is out there? And I ended up going back to school. I went to grad school at the University of Cincinnati and studied gender and sexuality studies in their master's program. And there was the light bulb moment of, this is what I want to do. I want to sort of marry my legal background, my law degree, with social justice and feminism and working towards gender equality. And then as it happened, the timing just worked out that right when I was looking for jobs, Equality Ohio was starting their legal clinic and this job came about. I immediately applied. and like I said, I started in the Cleveland office in 2019. It's a nonprofit. So with nonprofits, I've learned everything has to do with, you have to figure out the funding. So you have to there can be a while where you figure out, okay, how do we get this funded? What are the grants asking for? We had to kind of do an environmental scan and do a lot of surveys. I think there was a summer where they went, Equality Ohio at every single Pride in Ohio, in June, asking folks, okay, if we had a legal clinic, if you had an attorney, what would you want them to help you with? And so, figuring out, exactly how we were going to structure the legal clinic and what it was going to be and what it was going to become. And so, then we were founded in 2019, which is when I came on board. I work for Equality Ohio in the legal clinic because I can, with every single day, I can help a person reach a more stable life. And that's remarkable from an attorney who used to be an IP attorney and representing Fortune 500 companies. I love that at the end of the day, at the end of the week, I can actually look back on my week and I helped this person do this. Hey, we had a successful name change. Hey, we filed for Social Security benefits and we're on the path to getting hopefully some benefits. we filed an appeal from to an insurance company that is right now denying gender affirming care to a person. It's very empowering to know that just because of me, I can make someone's life better. Okay, so two things I would say. I told you I have a nonlinear career path, and I that is valid. And so I guess one, I will speak to anyone who maybe is in a career or a spot that they're not truly loving. Don't stick with it just because you've put so much time into it. I mean, assuming you have everything else, and I mean, I recognize my privilege in being able to totally change my career path. I was in a position where I could make that work, and I realize not everybody does. But like, so if you are a person who you're stuck in a career or a position that you don't love, and everything else in your life is working towards, don't, the sunk cost fallacy of don't stay with something just because you've put so much time into it. You've got so much life ahead of you. Go for what you're passionate about. That's number one. And then number two is, I mean, if the specific question is, well, how do I get involved? Like if I want a job like this, I want to work at a nonprofit, I want to, work with a social justice organization and make more of a difference, in my day-to-day life. I would say, look at your network, see who's maybe already with an organization and find out how you can get involved. Sometimes it's, start out volunteering, and just getting to know the folks. And then if there's opportunities to get more involved, especially with a paying position, you'll hear about that. So I mean, I will just say from Equality Ohio standpoint, we have volunteer events where you can help. And I guess the third thing I'll say, if you're not looking to like actually change your career, but you do want to get involved, in your personal life, then absolutely look for those volunteer opportunities. Equality Ohio, we have regular volunteer opportunities with our field and our organizing team in terms of, asking people to call their representatives because we want the Ohio Fairness Act passed, or we want to protest, the anti-trans legislation that's currently pending in the State House. Again, when we get back to in-person events, we always have, we're always looking for volunteers to help run and staff tables, and in that regard, so yes, please reach out to Equality Ohio. The general email, if you don't know anybody's personal email, although they are on our website, but you can always reach out at info@equalityohio.org to get more information and ask how you can be involved, and you'll be directed to, whichever person is the best person to help you out.
Bueno, feliz mesa de Pride. Happy Pride Month to you all. I'm Joseph Souza with Equality Ohio. One of the many ways that we are going to celebrate Pride Month at Equality Ohio is we're going to upload a brand new video to YouTube every weekday. If you'd like to support Equality Ohio, you can do so by liking, subscribing, and sharing this video. You can also donate directly at equalityohio.org. Thank you.